We are working so hard to bring you the voices that matter and to tell the most inspiring stories. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to become part of our growing community. Thank you.
The reason why my position in this game had to be different is because I'm the trail, I blaze the trail. And also I'm the OG. Yeah. Remember, I'm older than a lot of these folks that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm older than some of the folks that you refer to as my colleagues.
Hi, lovely people. Welcome back on another episode. I'm Tammy Julius. And we are on our 8th episode today. And already we are so blessed to have the grandpapa himself in the studios. Grandpapa, thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir. It's been a long time.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Chasing.
My word is my balls.
I know. Oh, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. It's an honor. I love it here. It's a beautiful setup.
Thank you. Because of the people that we want to have on board, obviously, we need to make sure that we've got...
you set it up.
Yeah.
Now, books here, I'm a kind of...
You're kind of...
It's for sure. I've been places. I've seen a whole bunch of books. Why you always got books on these podcasts? Like, who's going to read this shit?
Yeah, I mean, it makes it look nicer. And you know what I mean?
Nah, I see. I like to read. I'm looking at... Okay, I'll pick one of them before I go.
Yeah. Is there anyone? I can't just half page,
I
just
know,
one
right?
book, couldn't even half page.
Yeah, blessings.
Yeah. So yeah. So before I start, we started this podcast in way back in March.
Okay.
And we came to you, thank you. And we came to you, but obviously we didn't meet you.
Yes.
At the time, you met your wife.
Yes.
And where's my stone? I had a stone and the stone name I said, my wife and I so on tomorrow. Because
Rockstone.
I know, right? Because also Otuni Stone about me because she's such a lovely person, and she spoke to us. I mean, she spoke to me like someone that she's known for years.
Yeah, that sounds like my wife. It sounds like my wife.
I mean, and she is like a brilliant woman.
She is.
That's when I understood why you are with your wife.
Yeah. She is. I mean, I've been on
clever woman.
Yeah. She's sharp. I've been on this planet long enough.
Yeah.
I met a lot of women in my lifetime. And if I had to make a choice, it would have to be a wise one. And thank God the wisdom was bestowed upon me that I could make a right choice. It wasn't easy. I mean, like I said, I've been through the ups and downs, looking for my partner. And you got to be prayerful because Jah literally gave me everything that I have, including my wife. Yeah. So. Yeah. So, and then
I'm grateful. So so we were talking to her about the podcast.
Right.
And then she asked us, how often are we planning to, I don't know if Kay remember this, how often are we planning to produce this podcast? And I said, every 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And then you know what she said to me? She said to me, no, you need to be very consistent.
Yes, you do.
You need to be producing even if not twice a week, you need to be giving the content. And then because of the kind of people that we wanted to bring them on, she told me that it's going to be really difficult. All these big names, might disappoint.
They're busy. People
need the content. And now looking back, and now it's it makes a lot of sense because I had a very little experience in media and everything.
I totally agree. I mean, reason being that it's not only celebrities who are worthy of a mic check. You know what I mean? Yeah. I look for interesting people, and if I ever did a podcast, I probably wouldn't even start with a celebrity. Yeah. I know so many interesting human beings, but then you have to be a person who is interesting to know somebody who's interesting. Exactly. So if you go out and you meet people, I meet all kinds of people from prostitutes to policemen to very interesting people. Yeah. And it's content. So I totally agree with her. Yeah. Otherwise you will not be able to keep up.
No, you won't. Yeah. You won't. And exactly. We lost track at some point.
Yeah.
And then
look how long it took for me to get up here.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean?
Imagine getting shot down.
I know, right? You keep telling me it's coming. Yeah. So I mean,
I agree with her.
Yeah. That actually helped me a lot as well, and then it's gonna stay with me for a very long time.
It's good advice.
Yeah, and
send the check. Send the check here.
I will. And today was gonna come to you again. It was gonna come to you.
Well, to my place?
Yeah.
Well, it is a Friday, so Fridays are booming.
And I said, KMV Rich. I mean,
Fridays Rocks Watching has become like a nightclub.
Yeah.
People come, they eat, and they sit down and they talk. The DJ plays music. Shout out to DJ Niai, the Grandmaster. Yeah. He plays music, and then people start dancing. Yeah. And whilst you wait for your food, you might hear a song that you like. Exactly. You start dancing. They go in there, buy a drink, and so it's all working out. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, obviously, Grandpapa, you're not gonna be here without us going back.
Yes.
Because you are the real definition for Hiplife.
Right.
And I want to know, how did it start? You were born in the UK.
Yes.
But you stayed between the UK and the USA, right? So at what point did you start doing music? And when you started the music, Hiplife, it was a new genre. Did you at that point, did you know that, okay, I'm creating a new genre, or you were just following the rap music, or?
Nah, I told you everything came from hip hop.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a bona fide hip hop soldier. I'm a b-boy. I'm a break dancer. I mean, the only element that I didn't dabble with is DJing and graffiti. Right. Because the elements of hip hop. Yeah. And so I chose to do the microphone, MCing. But I also grew up in a very musical home. Not saying that my folks made music, but I grew up in a home where music was played a lot. Mm-hmm. My father collected records, so I went from listening to Fela to the Beatles to Van Morrison, very, very broad collage of music, good music, James Brown, all that. I grew up on that stuff. Right. And remember, my father was a fashion designer too, so he was also in the arts. Mm-hmm. In fact, this is what a lot of people don't know. If you look up the album cover for Parliament is a legendary American group, a funk group. Mm-hmm. If you look on the cover for Up for the Downstroke, that's my mother on the cover. Yeah. my mother, I can pull it up right now. You can see it. Or you can Google that right now. Up for the Downstroke, look for the cover. That's my mother right there, bottom right. Okay. That's my mother. So you can imagine what, the way I grew up, and she's also a fashion designer. My mother, I got three mothers, by the way. Don't get confused. I got three mothers. I was raised by three strong women, all still alive. Yeah? Yeah. Actually, my mother just celebrated her 80th. Okay. 3 days ago. Hmm. Yeah. So I grew up in a very musical, artistic home. And this would all come to shape everything that you see me as today. Yeah. As far as language and being Pan-African, this was instilled into me from a very early stage, because my father was a bona fide Pan-African. Okay. He was a strong Nkrumahist. I mean, his story is a whole nother story. And so even though I was born in the West, I was encouraged to speak and learn how to articulate my own language. Mm-hmm. Then this is where the Hiplife story begins. Right. And so I've been around yeah. But I wasn't one of those. I was one of them kids where, I could, regardless of the fact that my first language is English, mm-hmm. I was always connected to home. Right. So when my father, it's funny, when my father first heard me rapping Cree, he was blown away. Because he knew I could speak Cree, but to rap with it, that's like, because we only spoke English, but my mother would speak Cree to me. And of course, I lived in Kumasi. When we came from the West, we went straight from the airport to Swami. Oh. Yeah, so how many years rough.
Must be first time.
Oh, Swami, okay. Yeah. I can't even remember, but I remember when I got straight, because I know we came back to Accra much later on. Okay. So when I came, we at the airport, we didn't spend too much time. I went, that's a whole nother story, because it was between my father and my mother. Okay. Yeah, back I can't say me. I can't say me. I call holiday in Tasman by Africa.
I don't know how it's stopping.
No,
that's usually the trade.
No, I wasn't. I know what you mean. No, not one of them ones.
Yeah, right.
But my father would later return from America and come and grab his son back. So that's a whole nother book story. But yeah, so I am a combination of, that's why I always tell people that I am the first British Ashanti Boga, New Yorker. Yeah. I got 3 of them all correct. My tree, impeccable. As you see what I did with my tree. Definitely. I speak pretty much good English. Yep. And I speak Ebonics, New York. So here we are. Hip hop from New York. The high life is Ghana. And the British, I guess, give me a cup of tea.
Yeah, a cup of tea. Yeah. So that's how the Hiplife, because we had nothing like Hiplife at the time.
No, you didn't. So, it was a whole. If you follow the trajectory, you see how it all evolved. And then finally, I came home in 93, 94. I came home for Panafest.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to come, perform, get on the plane, myself, Freddie Funkstone, DJ Rab from New York, another one. May he rest in peace. And then I was supposed to just do what I came to do and go back. And up to now,
so what happened?
It was my calling. It's definitely divine intervention. Reason is, I'll tell you the story.
Right.
When the plane landed, I was with Freddie Funkstone. For those who don't know Freddie Funkstone, he's the one that made Ride, Drive All the Garden by Me. Yeah, that's Freddie Funkstone. Yeah. He's Funkstone, I'm Rockstone. Right. I got my name from his name.
Okay.
Right. So when the plane landed at the airport, Freddie was getting off the plane. Freddie's walking behind me and he says to me, "Yo, Reg." I said, "What's up?" He says, "You're not coming back, right?" I said, "How you know?" He just felt it.
Yeah.
He felt, and this is my partner. This is my rap. He said, "You're not coming." I said, "How you know?" I just felt it right there and there in my spirit that I didn't want to be in the West no more. This was it. And mind you, we had done some good shit in the West.
Yeah.
I was in a rap group, Party à la Maison.
So at the time we were doing hip hop.
Hip hop, straight hip hop.
All right.
Nobody rapping in no tree, nothing. And we were opening for Das Effects. We opened for Ultra Magnetic MC, Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Okay. We opened for Laws of the Underground. Like we was doing swell. You can see newspaper articles with my group in there, front and back, but as soon as I got off that plane, my spirit, I just knew it.
Yeah.
I meant it. So here we are today.
Okay. The journey Hiplife.
Yeah.
Because I'm still on the Hiplife.
Yeah.
Did you know that? So did you name it Hiplife?
Yes, named it Hiplife.
You named it Hiplife.
Yeah.
So what was
with my father, yeah. May he rest in peace.
So what was the inspiration behind it? Because
that element of very, very simple. It had nothing to do with me being inspired to name it Hiplife. No.
Okay.
As far as I knew, I was still rapping. So that was hip hop. Okay. But it was my father who was the executive producer.
Right.
Remember, he's the one that invested in this whole Hiplife thing. Okay. It wasn't me. He's the one who copped the tickets, flew us down for Panafest. Right?
Okay. So
my father is the one who suggested that we take the hip from hip hop. I say, big. Because he had, foresight. And he said, look, you need to own it. Make it, don't call it hip hop because then it will fall into the generics. He said, you got to name it. And so he's the one, master branding. He said, take the hip from hip hop.
Right.
And then take the life from high life. Boom. Hiplife.
Yeah.
And here we are.
It has the elements of hip hop and the high life.
Well, at the time, we wasn't even thinking about using high life or, we wasn't, for him, it was a branding.
Yeah.
So I guess the high life would represent via my language.
Right.
Okay. That would be the tree that I was rapping in. And then the hip would be, yeah. But he wasn't even thinking it's like sampling high life at the time.
Yeah.
It was us who would later on. And then, of course, when we put it out there, it inspired other people.
Yeah.
So, they started to really make like the Ghanaian groove. But if you listen to a lot of my first albums, it's hip hop. It's hip hop beats.
Yeah.
Boom bap beats with DJ Rab, my friend Kohouse, Zap Mallet, and so, but I I think my first real authentic, I mean, they're all authentic, because I still use the language, but one of the first ones would be Keep Your Eyes on the Road. Cause that actually samples an authentic high life track from the 70s. Alaji K from Paul. So that's what you get. Yeah. So now that's real hip life. But you see how hip life is interchangeable?
Yeah.
Because on that song, I don't rap in tree. Do I make myself clear? Clap your hands like there was a million mosquitoes in here, all in English.
Yeah.
But the music represented the high life. So it's interchangeable. You can do like so, you could do like so.
Makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
And did you know it's gonna have a long impact like this?
I did, but not as big as it got.
Yeah.
You know, because if I had that foresight like my father did, I would have patented the word hip life. And can that back from all. You know, but you know, it's God works in mysterious ways. I was supposed to come and do this, create enough employment for young folks, you know. So I'm not bitching about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's talk about your album, Makamaka.
Makamaka, yeah.
That was the I would say is the cornerstone of hip life.
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one. What was the challenges like when you?
The challenges, just the same old. You know, remember. Doomsaw had just began when we started to record, so that was a big challenge. But nothing that, you know, wasn't doable. Remember, I had the backing of my father, and so everything was paid for. Yeah. You know, I keep telling people my story is not like yours. You know, I didn't go through them struggles that y'all be talking about. I really didn't. I'd be lying. You know, it was a walk in the park. You need a studio? Built me a studio. You want to shoot video? Who's the best video guy? Oh, Abraham Ohene-Jan. Boom. Who's the best studio engineer? Oh, Zach Mallet. How much? So all I had to do was just create.
Yeah.
That's why I had the time. And that's why it's so quality. I wasn't distracted by nothing. In fact, we were like on holiday.
Yeah.
But sorry, I know, you could be you could studio. You could tell me exactly na go and I'm my backpack. I was like a tourist.
Yeah.
And then we were just recording. And of course, remember, we all came home about the same time. And so a lot of people from the UK had also come home.
Yeah. Okay.
VVIP FM. My man, Michael Cook, who owned VVIP FM. Ohene-Jan had just finished film school in the UK, and I had already met him in the UK when he was coming out of film school. So it's like, yo, we're going to work together. And Ghana. It was a proper year of return. So we were just having a great time. And you know what I'm saying? But we just all, and very Pan-African.
Yeah.
And I think what made it even more beautiful is the fact that I could speak my language. I could express myself in my language. So, my slangs NIMBY too. You know, I could do that, but I'll be right here with you.
Yeah.
You know, so it made it all so more authentic.
Yeah. And you had your dad backing you as well.
100.
Directing you.
Yeah, videos in your new chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't spend a dime. I didn't spend a dime. Yeah.
Right.
You want to say no?
Yeah. And now, obviously, hip life is here.
Yeah.
And there's new genres like blending in.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the current state of hip life?
I think it's very the current state of hip life. Well, styles do evolve. You know, if styles didn't evolve, it wouldn't be healthy. However, my reservation is with us not preserving the name, because it seems like branding has a lot to do with the success of any genre. You know what I mean? The reason why hip life influenced young Africans all over Africa is because it had a brand that they could identify with. So when you heard hip life, you're like, yo, what's that? Today you got Afrobeat, but hip life set it off.
Yeah.
And then everybody else joined. You know, so in saying this, I would say that hip life is still here, it just has to be revived. Not necessarily in the sound, because, sounds do change, but in the branding. Because we have come to realize that without an identity, we're kind of left behind. Right. So that's my take. But, Black Sharif and all of them, they'd still doing Hiplife, When you ask Black Sharif what kind of music, he said, I do hip hop with high life. So Sarkodie is still rapping and Tree, doing this all Hiplife. Yeah.
And you are Reggie Rockstone, the grandpapa.
Well, last time I checked that. Yeah.
You still into the music. You still
that's my life.
Major role into it. But I've seen you also doing other ventures of businesses.
Yeah.
How do you combine them?
Well, that's survival. I got bills to pay, bro. I got children, bro. You know what I mean? I got to pay these bills, so I'm a hustler, I make ends meet, but the artistic side of me is always apparent, even in the business that I do, you see that I took it to a whole nother level. Yeah. I'm selling rice and beans to human beings, but if you see the place, the way I set it up, I'm doing Jawachi, that's me, of course, with my lovely wife. So, anything that I do, I like to stretch it out, make sure to the fullest, so now my name has become synonymous with Wachi. Who would ever thought, but I love it because it's an African dish. I always had a side eye to Ghanaians fighting over jollof, which is not even yours. It's from Senegal, damn it.
Is it Senegal?
It's from Senegal. No, Senegal. Yeah, they speak Wolof. Jollof is from Senegal.
Yeah.
And they arguing about some food that don't even belong to you. You don't have no roots to it. And when you see how exciting Wachi is compared to jollof, I'm like, come on, man. That's like a Bentley and a church or some shit, for real. Look at all the accoutrements that you find on Wachi compared to jollof.
Yeah.
So this is why I had to raise that. And besides the fact that I eat the food myself, I enjoy Wachi. I've eaten Wachi all my life. After fufu is Wachi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people doesn't even know that Rice and Peace was inspired by Wachi as well. The Jamaicans.
Yeah, the Jamaicans got it. Yeah.
Yeah, the Rice and Peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was inspired by
beans is black folks and beans,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So So you still up until now, you're still representing Africa. Everything that you do.
Without a doubt.
Everything that you do.
Junior, you see it on my hat. Yeah.
Exactly.
Everything, yeah.
And then and let's talk about your performance on the VGMA.
Well, that wasn't no performance. It was an appearance.
Exactly, that's the thing.
Really
do well, but it's like
yeah.
You were feeling it.
Let me tell you how. You see, I know show business very well. That's the one thing that I don't know how to play soccer, none of that. But show business, yeah. So when you put me on stage, that's my home. I've been on stage. Remember, I was a child star.
Yeah.
I started performing at age 11 and shit. I was winning dance competitions and, all of the above. So when you say lights, camera, action, I'll come alive. And so, but I think the young people who, and everybody else who is interested to know should learn something from that appearance. You could do so little and impact everybody.
Yeah.
You don't have to overdo.
Yeah.
Your timing, your content, get it right, your appearance. They got a big black stage. Okay, I went for the sound check. I said, there's no way I'm wearing black.
Yeah.
I disappeared. So I wore all white with a big old black African chain and a white hat with New York on the front. So, you can't miss me, for my age, I'm relatively fit. I'm in good shape. So I had to show off how much in shape I was.
Yeah.
Cause some people ain't seen me for that long and they think I might have just grown old. This boy, he past his 50s.
Yeah.
And when I turned up on that stage, it confused some people cause it's like, damn, dude is looking like he trim up, So that was another angle. So right there, you beat them with appearance.
Yeah.
And visibility, The whole stage is black. I'm in all white. My sneaker matches it. It's black and white. Boom. Then nostalgia. I can't perform. I can't. God knows I can't perform my whole catalog. Yeah. So I need to hit them where it hurts, like real fast and effective. Yeah. So I know the call and response. If I say, "Where's your plan?" But I know what you're gonna say. Yeah. Then I went on to show them that I own the stage. Yeah. So what do? I sit down. No, nobody does that shit. Who comes on stage to sit at the stairs? So I sit down, and that right there is showing you that this is my house. Yeah. I'm relaxed. This makes them warm up to you. They like, that's our guy.
Exactly.
And then of course paying homage to the other soldiers, which is it's a trait of a leader. Okay, I gave him his flowers. Yeah. I could have hogged it all and didn't know. I gave flowers or brought for my man. Quade. Yeah. People who are in dire straits that you might want to forget about, I gave them their props. So within a space of how long? Package. Back. So when I left, you have too many things on your mind. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's looking good. Oh, you see the head? No. And then you're viral.
I will tell you this as well. So from what you just explained, watching your VGMA, now it's like,
you've repictured everything that I told you. Yeah.
You've got a lot of experience because
I do.
What you got right, a lot of the artists got wrong. Because
not all of them, but for the most.
Yeah.
But I've always inspired, my people. There's so many other things that I have done in Ghana that has been replicated, so much, You
owned it.
Yeah, that's what I came to do. I'm the godfather.
Yeah. And when you were paying homage to, your other colleagues as well, it's like, it makes a lot of sense. Because to me, when Shatta told me he was going to do a podcast, I'm like, do it, start it. Mm-hmm. I always encourage people to do it because I feel like it's not a competition.
Well, I mean,
so you knew that this is not a competition, even though that's your time. You could have made it just yourself.
Even though I come from hip hop and hip hop is very competitive, the reason why my position in this game had to be different is because I'm the trail, I blaze the trail. Mm-hmm. And also I'm the OG. Yeah. Remember, I'm older than a lot of these folks that you're talking about. Yeah. I'm older than some of the folks that you refer to as my colleagues.
Mm. Yeah, okay, yeah.
People always forget because they put me in the age of the music age.
Right.
They were young.
Right.
And so, my experience is what I came to share. And also, being that it was a new movement, I didn't want to be on some ego. I'm not even egotistical anyway. I'm a very laid back, organic dude. And so that's the reason why I've always been sharing. My whole life has been sharing. I was the only child for many years, so I only knew how to make friends. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, and also when I look at you, what I see is consistent.
Yeah, I try. I try.
You do. And it's like when to come in and when not to come in. It's like
remember my whole friendly part. Yeah. I always tell people that every hero is a bar at last. My father used to say. Remember my whole friendly part.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe in the history of Ghanaian music, I did the unthinkable. Usually, when people announce their retirement, it's because Charlie Omar and Krarim, on my bread. I retired on a hit record. When I put out Reggie from Born and Champion, why? That's when I said I was going on retirement, remember?
Yeah.
And then I pulled out. You did not hear from me for another how many years, and then another how many years I came back as VVIP. Yeah. I always got to reinvent myself. Keep it fresh.
Exactly. That was my next question about
VVIP. Yeah. One of the greatest mergers ever.
Yeah.
It's that's like Kujantri and Lumba coming together to make an album or something. Nobody ever did it. Yeah. And we did that successfully. Yeah. Gave you hits upon hits upon hits. Exactly. And that's what I like to do. I like to refresh. Yeah. I don't baby my break.
Yeah.
Voice.
So you
be different. Yeah. So this is what I do. So I don't know what I'm gonna do next, but There's always something new coming.
What happened with the VVIP?
Yeah, we still good.
Yeah.
Well, so OGs.
Yeah.
So, when we do have time, we'll definitely hit the studio again.
Okay.
But for now, we got nothing more to prove. We're household names. Yeah, sound background. I'll be able to match so school to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we're good and ready, we'll hit the studio again. We got stuff that we recorded we didn't even put out. That's on layaway.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah.
And have you forgiven KK as well?
I know people ask him the same thing all the time, man.
Have you forgiven KK?
Yeah, you bring me here. Yeah.
So was that issue resolved?
Well, that's for video, but
yeah, I know.
The real life story is a whole different story.
Yeah. I'm sure anyone that want to start music, they look up to you. They'll go back and then with a Hiplife, High Life, wherever, Afrobeat. From then to now, I'm sure you've learned a lot, of lessons. What advice would you give to the upcoming artists?
Well, your generation is a lot different from the way I came up. You have your ups and your downs. Modern technology has its goodness, but it also has its downside. So, things that otherwise would have had to be organic is now very synthetic.
Yeah.
You're only as hot as your last record. It's very, social media took over everything. To a new one coming up, just remember that, first of all, you got to understand that it's God's given gift. And watch it yet.
Yeah.
So, and some people love music, but it don't mean that you can make music.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody can make music, but don't mean that you can make, and so don't, invest in yourself. But there are so many other pages in the music industry that can be read. So you might love music, but then maybe making the music is not really your forte. Maybe making clothes for the musicians is your forte. Maybe you're a producer making the beats. Maybe checking contracts for musicians. So much around this, so it's called show business.
Yeah.
And so what usually happens is, a lot of people, for the love, because they love music, they assume that they can make music.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gets murky. And so, you really tap into your inner, and remember that it's God's gift. And so if you're sharing it, it should be unselfish.
Right.
Because we're for free. So we had a chair. And so whenever you come into music solely about making money, I side-eye you. It's a spiritual thing. Music is. God loves music is why he blessed you with music, making you special. And when you're special and you have the gift of music, guess who hates you? The devil. Because the devil knows that God loves music. Always remember that Lucifer used to be the head of the choir before he tried that coup d'etat and got thrown down.
Yeah.
So he knows music too. So be careful what you wish for, because he might just give it to you, but he's going to snatch your soul with it. So a lot of these young ones coming up, then they think about music, they see the fancy cars on TV, the girls, that's what they want to be.
Yeah.
That right there, the devil is sitting right there with you. But when you make music to uplift, every time I think of the fact that whatever that I did created employment, I feel good about myself. I feel like, okay, God, he asked me to do something and I did it. It took people out of, people travel all over the world. I mean, people tell me, damn, man, if it wasn't because of Hiplife, I don't know what, Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate this. So, yeah, and watch it, look into self, be ready to share, and don't just be about a glamity, because most of them don't even last anyway, if you think about it.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people became stars, and they're not here no more.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother.
And my other question is, I mean, Reggie Rockstone, like grandpapa. Mm-hmm. When you were younger, what were some of the things that you thought it was relevant at the time, but now looking back, you realize it doesn't really matter?
I was a wise young man. Mm. I must admit, I always tell people that I did some dumb shit growing up. Yeah, like everybody else, dumb stuff. But I was a pretty young, wise. My father was a very wise man, and my father wasn't strict.
Okay.
That was my ace, my downfall. Mm. So, he gave me the best advice. I've always been street smart, and so things that I did when I was younger that I find very irrelevant today, not much, because everything is a learning curve.
Yeah.
And so I could only draw from the mistakes that I made, and, it's a lesson. It's only dumb when it doesn't become a lesson. Once you are able to translate it into wisdom, then it becomes a lesson. So, not much. Every piece that, if I look back, I could say, oh, so it's a lesson, life lessons. Yeah.
So it's like a personal experience.
Yeah, wisdom. Yeah. Wisdom is it's priceless. Mm. Yeah.
So my last question, Reggie. What's the secret to it?
Damn, you've been said the last question like 10 times, brother, man.
I need to ask you.
What did you gonna say? The last one?
The last one.
Right, man.
So, what's the secret for a 23 years? Marriage.
It's more than 23.
It's more than 23.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There is no secret. And if there was, if I told you, it wouldn't be a secret, would it? There is no secret, but there are some pointers. Love conquers all. And God is full of love. So if you love, then you are in God's light.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because hate that's a negative vibration. Love is God's vibration. So once you exercise the religion of love, then you are in God's grace. Yeah. And so I would give the glory to Jah first, and then you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
But that is mandatory.
Yeah.
So you got to work hard at it. And it's not easy, but everything that's easy ain't worth it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much, I hope I summed it all up, brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
God comes into the equation, you got to work, and everything should be all right.
And also I would say, maybe when you go out as well, don't eat. Go and eat your wife's food, because when we come, we ask you what you wanna eat. He said no.
No. That's not right. That's not right. There is a reason why. Because usually I'll be eating. I would have my Guinness and everything.
Yeah.
No. There is a reason why. So next time I come up, listen. I'm gonna train.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. I'm glad I made it. And I hope this is a good podcast. I wish you the best. And just keep bringing interesting people up here. You don't need celebrities to make this shit work.
Nah.
Yeah?
Nah.
All right, bless you, man.
I've learned my lesson.